We believe in being dedicated to a culture of excellence. Excellence is really in the details. Not only just in the details, but details that are applied diligently. So we're going to focus a little bit on the character quality of diligence. Diligence is investing my time and energy to complete each task assigned to me. I'm going to approach diligence from a perspective of how do you move from being an average employee or an average person to become a nearly perfect individual. Well, this may sound impossible, but actually the path from average or mediocre performance to nearly perfect performance can be a possibility if you apply diligence to the details. Let me explain. Let's use the game of baseball as an example. I was told that in baseball, if you hit the ball successfully 270 times for every 1,000 plate appearances, you will be considered as an average or middling player. So all it takes for you to be an average player is to hit the ball 270 times per 1,000 plate appearances. What then does it take to be the best? What then does it take to be in the Super League? In order to be in the Super League, the number of times where you need to manage a hit, where you need to manage hits per 1,000 plate appearances is 320 times. So if you can manage 320 hits per 1,000 plate appearances, then you're considered one of the best. You are nearly perfect. So what can we learn about perfection here? Let's consider the numbers here. 270 times hits versus 320 hits. What is the gap between average and perfection here? Here is the maths of perfection. On an average, a batter would make 500 plate appearances. He would appear about 5 times on the average per season. What does that mean? The difference between the hits here, 270 and 320, the difference are 50 hits. That means with 500 plate appearances per season, and this is the hit per 1,000 plate appearances. So the difference between average and stardom is this. The batter needs to make 25 better decisions per season. Just 25. If you can make 25 better decisions per season, you are already moving from average to being the best in class. Just 25 better decisions per season. What is the lesson here? When you look closely, the difference between someone whose performance is acceptable and someone whose performance is consistently near perfect, the difference is only very slight. It's only very slight. In the world of work, what's the difference between the average and the great salesman? It could be just that 3 extra phone calls made at the end of the day. What's the difference between an average employee and a great employee? It could be that 1 or 2 questions that he asks during the presentation. What's the difference between a great parent and an average parent? It could be just an extra 10 minutes of conversation with your teenager every week or every other day. What is the difference between a great customer service rep and an average customer service rep? It could be just that little gift or that little thought or that little card that you sent. So you see here, ladies and gentlemen, the path to perfection is not a long and tedious one. It is based on consistency. It is based on your details to attention. At the end of the day, it is about the little extras that you do on a day-to-day basis that causes you to rise up to the level of greatness. I mean, think about it. Let's take a look at the word extraordinary. What does the word extraordinary means? You do ordinary things in an extraordinary way, meaning you are willing to take that little step. You're willing to make that extra phone call. You're willing to make that extra conversation. You're willing to buy that extra gift. You're willing to give that extra report. Little extras in ordinary feats and in ordinary tasks will make you into an extraordinary person. And that's what perfection is all about. You might not be entirely perfect, but you can be nearly perfect in a consistent way if you just take care of the details. So we believe in being dedicated to a culture of excellence. Excellence speaks about perfection. So in order to be nearly perfect or close to it, we need to be diligent. Diligent in applying the details in a consistent way. Remember, it is the extra mile, that little extra, that makes all the difference. Think about it.